All right, we are back with another RPG that we're looking at today. It's Elden Ring on the PlayStation 5. The reviews are here. And guys, this is looking like a bona fide hit, must buy, must play game of the year, heavy game of the year contender here with Elden Ring. So far, there aren't a lot of reviews up. There are about 27 critic reviews, but so far it's looking really good with a very strong 98% rating. Now, guys, here's the thing with this. There's still more reviews that's going to be coming in. So, of course, I'll have updates as we go along. But right now, as I'm looking at it, it looks like Elden Ring is definitely going to be a game of the year, like strong contender, and is living up to the expectations that fans had for this game, as it was voted 2 times the Game Awards most anticipated game. So people were really excited for this. Now, how many perfect scores does this game have? That's going to be the thing that we're going to focus on first. Then we'll move into the lowest rating, and I'll do my best to try to see if I can update this throughout the video and get some more scores in. So far, I am counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 perfect scores. 17 perfect scores, which includes a friend of the channel, GamesBeat, Jeff Grubb. He actually gave the game a 100% as well, if I'm not correct. I'm looking at the website for it, and it definitely seems like, yes, GamesBeat gave it a 100, but it wasn't Jeff Grubb, it was Jay Henningsen. So there you go. But I think Jeff Grubb talked about it on Twitter, talked about how much he does like the game. So it is a very good game, it seems, based off of these review scores. Now, if we go all the way down, let's see the lowest review score so far. So right now, it doesn't have anything underneath a 9 out of 10. So games.ch, Eurogamer Italy, Dextero, PlayStation Lifestyle, and Inverse. So those 5 websites gave it a 9 out of 10. Everybody else is at least 95 or higher. So man, this game is getting incredible reviews. Some of the things that I'm seeing about why this game is so good, I'm looking at the Elden Ring GamesBeat review, is that the combat has been centralized apparently from the FromSoftware games, and it builds upon what makes all of those games really good, according to VentureBeat. Now, I do want to read some of the different, I would just say, blurps from each one of these. So VGC says that Elden Ring is a fantastic game that can still deliver the unmatched thrill of defeating a tough boss after an hours-long battle. Those who worship at the Church of Souls-like will find a game that's basically everything they ever wanted. Okay, very good to hear about that. Let's see if we can find another score here from a site that I do know about. So GameSpew, which I don't know about, but they have a pretty big blurb here on their review, says combining the deep and challenging combat FromSoftware is known for, with a vast and varied world that's always a pleasure to explore, Elden Ring is quite simply incredible. From the moment you step foot into the lands between, you'll be engrossed, and you'll no doubt experience some setbacks on your adventure, such as a boss that at first seems impossible to defeat. There's always somewhere else to go to cool off, pick yourself up, and perhaps power yourself up before returning to have another go. That is to say, you don't just play Elden Ring, you live in its world for hours at a time. It will consume you, but you'll willingly throw yourself into the maw with fervor. So this is the classic FromSoftware type of gameplay. You get enwrapped, you want to fight and get better. You want to keep going. It keeps pushing you in order for you to continue to overcome that insurmountable odds. And I love that about games in general, but with FromSoftware games, I haven't really played them myself recently. The last one that I played was Bloodborne, and that was really good. I did like that game. I did beat Demon Souls back in the day, so I was there from day one when it comes to the Souls formula. So I'm definitely going to be picking up Elden Ring, because it looks like it's finally solved some of the things that I had an issue with the overworld and with just how you fight in certain kind of like corridors, and you're always like back against the wall. Like, it was really narrow. This one, I think it has some of that, but it also has open-ended areas as well too. So I do like that about this game. Nobody's talking about the story at all. I guess FromSoftware games, obviously the stories are not necessarily that important. Let's go to COG Connected with a 98 score. The last two blurbs I read were perfect scores, so this one's a 98. COG Connected says, Elden Ring is an awe-inspiring achievement. Both summary and bold step forward. It fuses FromSoftware's best and most effective ideas with an endlessly engaging open world. Its combat is the most refined of the series, challenging yet accessible to new players. Elden Ring includes an incredible amount of quality content. More importantly, it offers a captivating, polished experience fraught with danger and filled with beauty. Love to see that there. I haven't heard anybody talk about the PS5 DualSense stuff. I'm guessing that there's a little bit of that action in there as well. I'm going to go down and read some of the lower end reviews here before we kind of get back into the higher ones here as well. So let me see if I can backtrack here, just because the reviews are going kind of wonky at this point. I think it's getting flooded with all the different people that are heading to the site and everything. So let's go to games.ch. They gave it a 9 out of 10. They said Elden Ring is more than a mixture of Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Sekiro. It's a huge game world, invites you to explore, and there's much more optional than mandatory content. There are some minor balance issues, but they blench out considering all the strengths. In total, Elden Ring does not quite reach its predecessors on the eye level, but the game is still a need to play for any action RPG fan. So yes, I am a huge action RPG fan. I'm currently playing a lot of Scarlet Nexus now that I've got some extra time, and I am absolutely loving that game. Obviously, this is a very different game than Scarlet Nexus, but action RPGs have always had a special little place in my heart ever since I first played Secret of Mana back in the day. I was used to so many turn-based RPGs, so I've always had an affiliation and love for all types of RPGs, but action RPGs for sure. So that's definitely good to hear on that. Now, also Destructoid, which is a site that I know a lot of you guys know about, they have a small little blurb saying they gave it a 10 out of 10. They say, as an experience, it's one of the most wondrous and open-ended games I've played in years. Also, Matildos Nerds, which I probably pronounced that website wrong, they gave it a 9.5 out of 10 or a 95. And they say, Elden Ring feels like a natural evolution of a video game series that continues to reinvent itself after more than 13 years of its birth. FromSoftware is simply the best at what they do. While there are some technical issues and repetitive structures and creatures, Elden Ring is a truly wonderful piece of work and one of the best adventure games in recent years. So once again, you're seeing praise across the board. You're seeing so many people say that this game is absolutely incredible. And I have a video where I'm going to be talking about this more later, but I think that one of the reasons why I kind of like skipped out on Horizon, I knew that I wanted to check out Elden Ring before anything else. Like, I knew that Elden Ring would be the game for February for me. Since I have to wait till March for Triangle Strategy and Kirby's coming out late March, I was like, hey, Elden Ring is going to be my game that I play in between like the big releases here, because I just got done with Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is a great hybrid action RPG. So it's been really good for RPG fans lately. I do want to just mention that it's been extremely good for RPG fans. We have been eating, and it's not over. There's still more coming up. But I think that the thing that I've seen here with Elden Ring, the thing that I think that's going to make this game sell a lot better, one, you have a bunch of platforms that it's on, so that's obviously good. But two, the accessibility for newer gamers as well. It seems like it still retains its brutal difficulty, but it also allows other people to kind of hop into the fray and see if they can get their hands a bit dirty with the game, which they've received criticism before in the past with that, and it seems like they fixed that a bit. Now, I still feel that difficulty levels will just fix that. But I understand where From Software and some of the fans are coming from when they say, hey, this is the style of game, it's meant for this type of purpose. Like, I completely get that, but I like the fact that they made it to where more people can kind of get in. Now, I don't think that means that it's devoid of challenge. I know that there's some hardcore, you know, From Software people out there that say, no, they want it to be the most brutal experience, period. And I think that, yes, I think that you're probably going to find that if you try to do everything in the game and if you try to get every single side boss and everything. I know I've watched so many playthroughs of Bloodborne, so many playthroughs of Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, where people just do all sorts of side stuff and crazy stuff and DLC and all this, to where if you want to just go straight through, you can, but if you really want to challenge yourself, you can also do so as well. And I've seen people just be ridiculously good at these games to where they can go through like no hit runs, or they barely get hit, or they just completely destroy every single boss by just memorizing everything to do with it. So it's going to be I would just say a bonanza when it comes down to what people get out of this game. These are just the journalists that are playing it, and I'm not trying to hate on the journalists, but obviously they're not going to be the skilled gamers out there. I cannot wait to see what the skilled gamers out there, the Twitch people out there that just are crazy with this, do with it in terms of no hit runs and all the boss battles and everything like that. So I'm excited for it. I think that this is the game that I finally want to play in terms of a new PlayStation 5 game that I'm really excited to kind of dip my hands into and kind of get into. Now, I wasn't as much beforehand just because I wasn't playing the Souls games, but everything that I saw from this game, to where you can have like your horse, and like I said, there's more open-ended areas, and it just seemed like it was going to be more of my style of game. I think I've already seen one person kind of put in the Breath of the Wild thing. I think it was Jason Schreier over there from Forbes put in the Breath of the Wild thing. So this is great news, man. This is great news for gamers. This is great news for Souls fans, and this is great news for people who want more games on the Xbox Series and PlayStation 5. It doesn't seem like it was really optimized for those systems from a visual standpoint because they have so many platforms that they're working on. But at the same time, it does seem like the PS5 version and the Xbox Series versions are pretty good, and you're not going to have the same issues that you have with a lot of the big Western games that release with all the bugs and the glitches and the cyberpunks and all this. They live up to their lofty expectations. So it's very good to see Elden Ring get so much praise from so many different people. Awesome to see that. And once again, I cannot wait to play this game. I'm going to be picking it up from Walmart. You can get the game for a bit cheaper at Walmart. So the game will be $49.94. People are sharing a picture on that. If you got a Walmart in your area, then you should definitely go there and pick it up because it is going to be cheaper on that front. So definitely go to Walmart. I know I'm going to be picking it up there, so this is definitely good news overall. So I like that about Elden Ring. So what are your thoughts about Elden Ring and the review scores so far? What do you guys think about the game? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.